Maria, good to speak to you this morning. What do these attacks tell you about the capabilities and motives of those involved?
Well, what you can see is really, so the Indonesian police have already blamed Daesh for this, right? And what you can see is the strategy of more and more of less and less. Certainly the attacks are not on the scale of the Bali bombings in 2002, which killed more than 200 people. Here you see that 5 of the 7 people who were killed were the attackers themselves, and the impact wasn't large, but the strategy is what you should look at. I think you had the old Al-Qaeda strategy of top-down leadership, command and control. Now you have Daesh's bottom-up, homegrown groups who are actually trying to just on their own pull out these attacks, and it's a war of attrition. Indonesia is also interesting because there is a Southeast Asian military fighting unit in Syria, in Daesh, and the man that the Indonesian police have said is responsible, has planned this, is actually part of that group.
So what does this tell us then about Daesh's reach within the most populous Muslim nation on earth?
Well, you got to look at all of Southeast Asia and look at this within this context. And I think this is where the Jakarta police chief was coming from. Friday last week, a Filipino group, 4 groups of Filipinos and Malaysians came together, and Daesh uploaded a video where they pledged allegiance. And essentially, they were completing the 4th of 5 steps to be declared a province of Daesh, a wilayah. The groups in Indonesia also do want to be declared a province, because that means resources, that means expertise can come into them. And this attack is the next step, the second to the last step before being named a province, according to Dabik, the weekly magazine of Daesh. Once they have the military plans and can carry out the attack to prove they have capability, then Daesh takes a look and actually funnels resources to them. What you're seeing in Indonesia is really the groups that were once affiliated with Al-Qaeda, linked to Al-Qaeda. Jemaah Islamiyah is the name of the group in Southeast Asia that was once Al-Qaeda's arm. That group has essentially disintegrated. The top and middle rank leadership have been arrested or killed, but the people underneath, the virulent ideology remains, and that is what Daesh is capitalizing on, and that is the network that Daesh is sitting on top.
And briefly, if you can, Maria, just tell us, what are Daesh's plans? Do they have specific plans for Indonesia?
Absolutely. So Katiba Nusantara, the group that Bahru Naim is fighting with in Syria, they've actually, you have roughly 500 Indonesian and Malaysian who have gone to Iraq, right? But what they want, and they stated this in 2014, is they want to create a province in Southeast Asia. Where will that province be? Where will the vilayat be? Will it be in Indonesia? Will it be in the Philippines? Or more likely, will it be a connection of both? Jemaah Islamiyah, the Philippines was the training ground and Indonesia was the theater of operations. And that is, again, I think what we're seeing shape up.
Well, Maria Ressa there, thank you very much for that from Jakarta.